Welcome back, Kat, your favorite ginger bibliophile. I hope you're all doing really well. And before you get too far, you gotta check out the shirt for the day. My creepy scarecrow. Come on out, it's October. You gotta dress the part and have some fun. And today we will be doing a wrap-up, which I already unhauled one of the physical books I read. So this was kind of a month for me. Like, some books were pretty good and I devoured them. Others I struggled through. One book I can't show you because I already unhauled it, so that tells you what you need to know there. But all in all, I got through 12 books, and as usual, we'll be starting off with the physical ones, and then we'll be going through all the stuff I read on Kindle Unlimited. So first off, I already kicked off, my summerween back in August. Gotta ramp up for my favorite time of year. And I love me some Dean Koontz, so Fear Nothing, which was probably, if I wasn't a huge fan of Dean Koontz, I probably would have loved this book. As is, it was kind of middle of the road-ish for me. Like, it was creepy in spots, and I think it's supposed to be the first of a series, because it definitely leaves off on... It wraps up, but not really. It kind of leaves well, we found where all this creepiness and problems came from and how to live with it, but it's still out there in the world. We could do something with it. My main issue with this is the main character's best friend, who is just, for best friend, he's kind of a douchebag. He's not exactly supportive. He's just very stuck in himself, and yeah, everybody might die, you might die, but whatever. Shouldn't we just go surfing? Like, let's just talk about all our surf terms for an entire freaking chapter in the middle of the book. Like, it bugged the crap out of me. But this is basically, we've got a guy who's even more sensitive to sunlight than your favorite redhead here. And so he lives in the night, but yet weirdly he's tan, despite that, like, the light that I'm using right now would, cause him issues and slowly kill him. So that doesn't really make sense. Like, how are you gonna be tan and you can't even walk under, like, fluorescent light bulbs? But ignoring that obvious what the heck mess up, it's like, we start off with his dad dies, and he's supposed to be buried with this, goes to, make sure he gets it, and stumbles into the, like, attendants switching bodies with some, transient that one of them gleefully, brutally murdered, and goes from there of, people aren't really the people they look like, they're becoming. And we find out who calls out what all it is, and it's an okay book, but I definitely recommend, like, TikTok or The Taking over this if you're gonna go Dean Koontz. And then another one that I wanted to be really creepy and was just a letdown, Vampire in Moscow. I mean, it looks all bloody and creepy. It's about vampires, which is my favorite when it comes to horror. And I mean, the back of it mentions warrior priests. So I'm over here expecting these, like, badass priests to be walking around, their big old robes, and someone just, whoosh, I got my sword or my stake, let's go! Taking out the vampires. It's not that. Not at all. Their version of a warrior is, we sent this young guy, meaning anyone under 50, with this magic spear that is the only thing that can harm, essentially, like, Satan, who is a vampire, that comes out every 1,000 years, and you gotta stake him with that magic thing, and he turns to dust, and you put him back in the coffin, and wait another 1,000 years, and there's an order dedicated to, has the coffin been uncovered again? We marked it specifically so we know when that coffin comes out, and when it does, you have to track it down and stake him again. And then it's basically just, here's a lesson in, like, 1980s Russian culture. Like, it starts off really freaking cool. There's like, back in olden days when Christianity was, like, first coming about, they're like, well, we're gonna kill anyone who doesn't believe our way, which, depending where you live, that's still a thing, but we're not gonna get into that, but like, they're back in, like, the Carpathian Mountains, which, awesome, like, home of the freaking, like, the Dracula. That's where all the legends are from. Like, oops, well, these people were, prophetizing, and that's wrong, and we're gonna ship them off to die, and basically, they get different names, but it's, like, your 12 disciples, and that whole St. John's Pursuer that we see here is their order, and this guy goes off as, like, kind of your, like, Moses of, yep, I went and disappeared, and in a storm I came back and went, this is what has to happen, we're gonna spread out, and oh yeah, we're gonna see visions of monsters and people doing it on monsters. And then we just come back to, like, the modern times, and people just complaining because it's, Russia, and it's cold, and they don't want to be there, things aren't what they used to be, and they're, like, they dig up the sarcophagus, and, like, hey, we went to open it, and there's nothing in there, there's just a dead body near it, because the security guard had a heart attack about it. And we spend a couple hundred pages looking for the obvious, Dracula that's Satan, and, so much potential, but so not fulfilling. This will end up in Unhaul. And then, like I read Atlantis God by David Gibbins, and it might be titled Atlantis, but really it's World War II and Nazi and, history, and made up scenes of pretending the author or somebody was there going, I know exactly what these people said in this secret meeting in this secret bunker, and they think they're actually Atlanteans because they're so badass, that's why they're Nazis, because, oh my gosh, and that's tied to Troy, which I was at, and, it's just a bunch of storylines tossed together that make no sense, and I did a full review on that. If you want to see that rant, I will post it down below, but, I unhauled that to a coworker with the fair warning of, this is lies, and it made me angry, but you like history and lots of random weird stuff, so here you go, read it, trash it, do what you want with it. And then I got an awesome book recommended by Matthew, the man with the hat, and I found it on my little bookshop tour that I did a vlog of for y'all, because there was kitties that I got, well, if they'd been awake, I could have petted them, because they're really friendly. Like, last time I went, there's two. But last time there was only the one little orange kitty following me around with a bell on his neck going, pet me! So, when I went to go get fishies and, hang out, I went to the bookstore and I found this. Apparently this is a series. I've only ever heard, I just hear that title. I didn't realize it was a whole series. Thankfully this is the first one. It's classic Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is rampant freaking nonsense, made up words, and creatures, and space travel, and robots suffering from depression and angry at other, like, robotic things for being happy with their life, and, like, Earth getting destroyed. But apparently we're just like, it's Earth, whatever, get over it. That was, like, 2 minutes ago. You're like, come on. We're traveling the universe. And it's nonsense in the best way. It just made me giggle from the word go. So, if you're like me and don't actually read sci-fi, but you're curious, go check this one out. It's fun. Apparently there's 5 books in this series. I need to get the other 4 at some point. But, if you want to know the answer to the, universe, 42. In case you keep hearing that, you don't know where that comes from, the answer is always 42. The really big one is, what's the question? And then, time to get into all of the mostly good books that I read on Kindle Unlimited. Now, there's an entire spin-off series that y'all need to read, but go read the other series first, because you can follow it, but it'll be full of spoilers. And it's the Daywalker Chronicles by Theophilus, Monroe, and Michael Anderle. The original series is the Zoe Grimm Chronicles, as in Grim Reaper. And that sounds really dark. It's actually just really funny and full of innuendos and not so innuendo, dirty kind of humor. made even better by the fact that people are doing it in front of their friends and their family, and just for the cringe factor of, yep, I talked about my getting it on in front of my mom, or, ew, Mom, you can't say that about Dad, gross! And yeah, there's a lot of that going on in the first one, and it gets into all these various mythologies. Like, I loved it. Each one felt like a brand new book. And there's one basically like overarching just issue, but every book is, well, hey, we beat the bad guy. Oh wait, that was a lackey of that one. Oh wait, that one was backstabbing that one. There's no clear enemy until the very end and go, oh, this was the end game of this prick all along. But they're battling a new person non-stop the whole time. Daywalker Chronicles is exactly what it sounds like. We got a red-headed vampire that gets stronger in the sunlight instead of burned, which, if that's not magic, I don't know what is. But it's also got a very different sense of humor. Like, I mean, our main character was in the other one. It's, oh, now I'm blanking on her friggin' name. Sienna. So, we've got her, and she was in the last book and getting in on, like, the dirty puns and whatnot. And this one was more of a kind of teasing each other, friendly banter. It was very much cleaner, even though there was a little bit of, okay, we need to do something because I want to get frisky with the boyfriend, but the boyfriend's a werewolf, and if he bites me, and possibly if anything else transfers, yeah, it might paralyze me for a century. So, you know, we gotta find a way around that first, because we can't be having our fun, which, that seems like a little bit of, y'all forgot about some of the scenes you wrote in the other book, didn't you? Because they were definitely getting frisky in one of the other books, and now they're like, wait, we can't even have a proper kiss. So we're dealing with that, and we do get mythology in this one, but it's more linear. We know who the bad guy is through the whole series. It's just fighting all these battles of, okay, this one's working with this one. How are we going to get to the big guy and finally frickin' take him down? Like, we know who it is. So it's kind of fun because we get the Olympians again, we get Babylonians, we get a little bit of Mesopotamia, and there's going to be another spin-off because there's a witch in this one. So there's a couple witches. One is modern day, one is old school, like brought back. So I'm not sure which witch they're talking about, that they did a third co-authored series spin-off. So I love it. They're all spin-offs, but they all build on each other. So, you know, if you want a creature feature that's kind of sort of romance, mostly just a lot of smart alecky and sass and just action, the little bit of mythology in there, go check this series out. Go check out the Zoe Grimm one first so you don't spoil things for yourself. And just knowing this one, that we do get some actual Dracula too. It's a good time. This is a 6-book series. The first one is 7. They are short, they are fast. I think I read 5 of them in 3.5 days because it was that much fun. And the next one, it's freaking perfect. It's a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, but it is dark, and it's by one of my favorite retelling authors that I found a while ago. This year, I've been K.M. Shea is where it's at. I freaking love her. She does, timeless fairy tales, but this author is a little bit more popular. I actually have some of her books on my shelf that I showed y'all. It's Marissa Meyer. And Gilded is the first book in a duology. And I need to get the second book, and how it's rudely not part of Kindle Unlimited, so I have to straight up buy it. Or, hey, Christmas. Because I've only got 50 books on my shelf that I still haven't read. And I'm running out of space. Some of them are 3 deep and full. And those bookcases might start buckling if I put more on them, so... But I need to finish the series. It's so good. And basically, it's very obvious Rumpelstiltskin, but this isn't just a greedy, narcissistic king. he's that too. But he's also like an evil undead fae. And, he's kidnapping people for his, dead wife who wanted a baby until it wasn't a baby anymore, and then, kill it, whatever. It's no fun anymore, it sucks. I hate children, but I want one until it's a child. But they kidnap the wrong people, and there's this whole big curse that Rumpelstiltskin doesn't know he's Rumpelstiltskin, but we all know he's Rumpelstiltskin because he spins gold from straw. So there's a lot of nods to the regular story, but it is so much deeper and darker, and it's such a good friggin' time, which should not be surprising. Like, this is the same author of the Lunar Chronicles and Heartless, which is the Queen of Hearts origin story, and please, come on, help me get her to write more origin stories. Like, maybe if we all band together and, like, beg her, because she's still writing stuff. We need more origin stories. Heartless was amazing. And then the last book I read, I'm so disappointed. I was so friggin' excited. Like, if y'all watch my short of, like, fall books I was anticipating, this was on it. Because I read the first book in the series, and I freaking loved it. It was a little spicy, but mostly it was just really dark academia. And they're vessels, but really they're freaking vampires that just only feed off of witches. And so the sequel is Cursed by Harper L. Woods. The first one was Coven, and it's what it sounds like. It's about a witch academy. This one, it should have been freaking amazing. What plot was there was amazing. But mostly, this was just... If you like spicy books, this is for you. Like, we could have cut this book in half. Because most of it was just, I hate him so much, I want to dismember him and disembowel him and kill him all these different ways. But, oh god, that makes me want to, climb him. And that must mean I'm in love with him if I want him to bang me while I'm trying to kill him. And that was, like, half the stories. Yep, he's the devil, he murdered me, he plotted with my family, and I'm gonna get him back for that, and send him back in pieces, but I need to play with some of those pieces first. They're so good. And, yeah, that was pretty much what I ended my month on. And so, if you're into that, and I know there are some channels on BookTube that are all about, is it kinky, is it spicy? We don't care if there's a plot, just how much are the scenes? How much of that book does it? This is most of the book, is just them getting it on. And very, very detailed, so yeah. Which, a couple scenes, like, every now and then, okay, but you want to off him in the middle of it, and that's why y'all stuck. That one just doesn't make sense, and where's the rest of the plot? That's supposed to be part of the story, not the story, for my tastes. So, do with that what you will. I loved the first one. The first one had, like, there definitely was a couple explicit scenes, but they were just sprinkled throughout. It was, which academia made me want this second book so bad. The beginning and the end were really good. In the between, there was plot in between some of the scenes. So that was my month. It was hit and miss. I loved some, hated some. Hopefully some of these sound good to y'all, or at least warnings of, I was gonna read that too. Now, not so much. Thanks for letting me know. And I will see you soon. Bye. Happy reading.